It's Monday, October 31st, 2022. A quick video today, just got back. I was looking at some of the articles this morning on the news, watched a little bit of the financial channels. Markets across the board down today. And as I've said in the past, I think this is nothing more than a sucker's rally. The economy has already collapsed. These markets are on borrowed time. Everybody hoping and praying for a Fed pivot. I don't see it happening anytime soon. And in the meantime, we're going to see more damage. Wednesday, the Fed will come out and more than likely going to raise rates another additional 75 basis points. What does this mean? It means you're going to be paying more on the interest on that credit card, more to borrow money to buy a car, more to get a loan for a house. Interest rates are going to go up across the board on everything from credit cards to mortgages. And this is going to be, I think, very, very damaging for the holiday season. If you watched my video yesterday, Matt and I were walking around a Walmart store out here, and it was not very busy. Inventory piled to the ceilings. You're going to see more and more clearance sales across America in retail. And the clearance sales are going to be coming to the real estate market very, very soon. There was an article this morning on CNBC titled, "Home Builders Say They're on the Edge of a Steeper Downturn as Buyers Pull Back." And if you're looking to buy a home right now, if you can wait 6 to 12 months, I think you're going to be very, very happy that you did. If you have the convenience or the luxury to hold off and wait, I think you're going to be very, very happy. That's what I'm doing right now, sitting on the sidelines, waiting, keeping my powder dry, and adding more powder. Housing starts for single-family homes dropped nearly 19% year over year in September. I checked bankrate.com this morning, 30-year mortgage rate, fixed mortgage rate, 7.32. Building permits, it says in the article, which is an indicator of future construction, fell 17%. Big trouble coming to the housing market, big trouble coming to real estate. And another article reinforces what I'm saying and what you've been saying for quite a long time. The Hedge today, $35 million Philadelphia mansion sells for just $9.26 million. This estate is 13,000 square feet. It's on 32 acres. The address, 100 Maple Hill Road in Philadelphia. The land back in 2006 cost $12 million. The home cost over the years, $23 million. This again is another indicator of what has already begun. And I mean, think about this number. A home that was selling for $35 million. That was the cost, not even selling. That was the cost to build the home. $35 million to build this home. You had, $12 million to buy the 100 acres, the land, and $23 million over the years to build the house. So you're at over $35 million in building costs. Sells for $9.26 million. What is this telling you and I? It's telling us that we're beginning to see the luxury market crack. We're beginning to see big cracks in homes across the board, existing home sales. New home builders are lowering prices. Check their websites. Go to some of these big home builders. Check their websites and some of these developments. You're going to see 8, 10, 12% discounts already on these homes, and this is just the start. They're going to have to discount much more. A few days ago, I showed you a development out here in Palm Desert where homes are starting in the 900,000s. That's with no upgrades. You couldn't even fit a swimming pool in the backyard. I would probably bet that these homes are running from 2,400 to 2,800 square feet. The lot sizes are probably no more than 10,000 square feet, if that, maybe 8,000 or 9,000 square feet. The lots are extremely small. Again, you could not even put a swimming pool in the backyard, yet they're charging to start over $900,000. This is all about to change, but again, this is all built up over the last couple years of all the FOMO, and people went absolutely crazy on home prices. Builders were able to get whatever they wanted. Sellers were able to get whatever they wanted. That is about to change. The question is now, how low can it go? Another article today on CNBC, 34% of millennials say they're behind on retirement savings. This number is going to increase. People right now, half this country doesn't even have $500 in cash saved up for an emergency. And we're reading articles where 34% of millennials say that they're behind on retirement savings. Again, this is just the beginning. This is what we're going to see now in an economic downturn, an economic collapse, where people now are using up their savings, they're tapping into their retirement accounts, and they're tapping into credit cards, buy now, pay later plans. And this is what they're resorting to. And this, again, is another sign, a red flag, that we are witnessing an economic collapse. This is not a booming economy. People could say, well, look at all the jobs out there. Yeah, look at the jobs up there, but look at the quality of jobs. Look what they're paying. Most of them, over half of them, are low-wage, minimum wage jobs. You're looking at 20-hour or less work weeks, no benefits, no opportunity to climb the ladder. These are dead-end jobs. Most of these jobs in the service sector. So I don't know how this country is going to maintain this blown-out real estate market when most of the country is working service sector jobs, when over 50% of American workers last year earned $3,100 or less per month, and that's before taxes. I don't know how you sustain this real estate market, how you can sustain any sort of economy when people aren't making money, and then you're taxing the hell out of people. And on top of that, we have another tax called inflation, where people are spending 20-30% more at the grocery store on top of that. And now most of this country that lives in a cold climate is going to get hit by the energy costs now to heat your home. So stay tuned for that. It's about to get very, very bad out there. Here's another one from The Hedge. Almost 8 out of 10 Americans say things are out of control, new poll finds. This is according to a CBS poll. Comment down below, are things getting out of control? I think they've been out of control for a while, but we are no doubt heading in a downhill direction. When you just look at leadership, when you look at the crime in this nation, you look at the economy, you look at debts, you look at deficits, you just take a barometer check of the average person now tapping into the credit cards, into their savings, not having $500 for an emergency. We got big trouble, ladies and gentlemen, and all you have to do is look at the data. And I think it's even much worse than what the data is telling us. But are we heading out of control? I think we're out of control right now. And the sad thing is, and the real scary thing is, that most people now are broke and they are not prepared for what is about to happen. Now, is it going to happen 6 months from now, 2 months from now, a year from now? I don't know. But the economy has already collapsed. And now we're going to see the fallout. We're going to see the fragmentation of a collapsed economy. And now we're going to see what double-digit inflation means, what a housing crash means. We're going to begin to see more and more layoffs. You look at what's happening in tech. I think they said that tech has lost $2 trillion, maybe it was $3 trillion so far this year. And we're looking at the massive layoffs. When real estate goes, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to take so many people out. And all those people who borrowed money out of those homes because they had all this equity built up literally overnight, they don't realize that has to be paid back. And they're going to try to sell their homes, but it's going to be impossible because they're going to be upside down, especially with the money they pulled out of the homes and housing costs going down. And we're going to have more savvy type buyers now who are beginning to realize that if they wait a little while, time is going to be on their side, and they're going to wait it out. And so to the sellers, they're going to be in big trouble, again, as they borrowed money out of the homes to buy NFTs, to buy cryptocurrencies, to gamble in the stock market. They're not going to be able to get out. And so same thing with cars. People are going to realize that took on these massive car loans, this massive car debt, that they're never going to get out, and they're just going to turn it back to the bank. And this is going to be another problem for the banks, as they're going to be so upside down on all these cars that they made extremely terrible loans on, careless, reckless loans on. So we'll see how that affects the banks. Here's another one from The Hedge. Peter Schiff, the Fed got everybody drunk on cheap money, but the party is over. And I have to agree 100%. The party is now over. And as I said earlier, most people were not and are not prepared for the money or for the music to end and for the party to be over. Wall Street got drunk on cheap money. And the question is, where did they get the alcohol and who liquored them up? Well, of course, it was the Federal Reserve. The whole nation was drunk on cheap money. We just look at those crazy car sales, loan to value 140%, people buying starter homes at $900,000. The whole nation drunk on cheap money. And we know that people do very dumb stuff when they're drunk, like buying Dodge Challengers and Chargers and having $1,000 car payment, going out and buying an $800,000 or $900,000 starter home, financing this for 30 years. But now the cheap money has ended, and it's going to be big trouble. Peter goes on to say, 2008 wasn't the real crash. What we're witnessing right now is the beginning of the real crash. When the tide goes out, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to expose a lot of this damage. We're going to find out the companies that relied on all this cheap money, the people that relied on all this cheap money, how much of it was wasted, and how they're not going to be able to survive now without more cheap money. It's been cut off. There is no cheap money now. Interest rates are continuing to go up, and they're going to go up even more on Wednesday as the Fed raises rates 75 basis points. So all these zombie companies, all these people who depended on cheap money, it's no longer. You're not going to get cheap money to buy a house, to service a credit card, to buy a car. The cheap money is over. And I'm going to close with this last article on the hedge. The scariest thing on Halloween is inflation, no doubt. So coming to you on this Halloween, I don't celebrate the devil's birthday. I don't hold anything against anybody that goes to a Halloween party. But it is quite embarrassing when I look at adults in Halloween costumes, getting drunk, being stupid, billions of dollars going to be spent on Halloween, more alcohol, more costumes. And it's kind of sad when you think about it, when you have adults right now, adult human beings acting like children, spending money on Halloween, on costumes, on booze. And again, look, I don't hold anything against anybody who wants to have a good time, but there's so many problems going on right now. And this is why people don't get ahead. This is why people are not prepared, because they want to act like children. And we're going to have people running around in Jeffrey Dahmer costumes and Jeffrey Dahmer masks, glorifying violence. And that's really the sad thing here, is when you really look at what Halloween is all about. First off, I don't celebrate the devil's birthday, and I'm certainly not going to glorify violence. But in this article, it says over 50% of the costumes will be glorifying violence, a serial killer. And you think about the people that these type of killers hurt: children, adults, ruining families' lives, torturing people. And yet people are going to go out tonight and glorify these people by wearing a mask of one of these serial killers. And it says in the article, over 50% of costumes will be some type of violent person or serial killer or what have you. But we're also going to have a lot of adult men wearing costumes like being Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. And that to me is just, I don't know, I just can't justify it when so much is going on. Halloween is a trick, not a treat. And so many people one day are going to wake up and they're going to want to know where their pensions went, where their 401k money went, where their stocks went. And they should really think about what they were doing, spending money on Halloween, glorifying violence, glorifying serial killers, glorifying the devil, instead of taking that money and actually preparing. There's a lot of better things people could do today with their money than go out and celebrate Halloween. Again, I don't hold it against somebody who goes to a Halloween party, but you got to ask yourself, is this really what you want to spend your time doing? Is this really what you want to spend your money doing? Is this really good for your soul, your spirit, your mind? I don't think so. But again, that's up to you. There's a lot of people out there that spend all their money watching sports. I don't hold it against them. But some of these people are the most unprepared people, and they always have an excuse of why they don't have any preparations. Gold's too expensive, silver's too expensive, emergency food is too expensive. But bottles of vodka, beer, Halloween costumes, candy, lavish parties, that's not too expensive. So many people will wake up tomorrow with a hangover and have no preparations, while people like you will wake up tomorrow with more preparations, no hangover, working on your mind, your body, your spirit, and your finances. And that's what we have to keep doing. These are tricks. These are not treats. So don't get complacent. Stay on track. Stay close to God. And I look forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all. Stay safe and keep preparing.